Fam over.
Fam, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Thou, FamOverTV. I'm back with another one, y'all. Appreciate everybody tapping into the channel, showing love, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, stopping by, whatever you're doing. I appreciate it. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is always advised. We got a good one, y'all. I'm gonna wait till a few people get in here. I keep on hearing about this and everything. Everybody keep talking about it. Like, man, you know, taxes are illegal and everything. You know, we ain't supposed to be paying no taxes and all that. And I'm like, dang, I ain't never know that. You know, I don't know, you know. I just thought it was mandatory, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think there's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? They take it out of your checks. They taxing us on everything. I'm like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I came across some videos and we go look at some TikToks today. That's crazy. Kind of supporting what people been saying and everything, but we're gonna check them out, man. Wait for a few more to get in here, man. Salute to everybody. What's up, DJ? What's up, Buddha? What's up, Jennifer? Mama Sean, what's up, Mama Sean? Mama Sean, did you on Friday I sent you a little something, Mama Sean, did you get it? I'm gonna just wait for a few more people, man, to come on in here, y'all. Cause this is gonna be a good one, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, man, not paying like not paying taxes. That might not apply to people that look like me. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't no way we can get around it. They'll come lock us up. Try to do something to us. You feel me? But I don't know, man. What's up, Brian? What's up, B Harvey? Get into it, man. We can go ahead and get into it. JB, what's up? For sure, Mama Sean. For sure. I was just making sure. Blessings, peace, and love to you. But yeah, let's get it going, y'all. Let's go ahead and start it up, man. I'm sure everybody get in here and rewind it and check it out, but let's go. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go.
Here's how the system works. You pay taxes to the government pools that money and uses it to provide the people with essential goods and services that they need. In this country, we've got a different system for getting the things we need. Take healthcare. We pay taxes to the government, and the government gives our money to a middleman, for-profit insurance companies or for-profit health providers. And the insurance companies provide health coverage in exchange for maybe some more money from us. And a deductible that covers not everything, certainly not your teeth or your skin or your eyes. It's a pretty good system if you own an insurance company. Companies like United Health and Aetna collect 70% of their health plan revenue from government programs. Humana, 90%. These health plan businesses would not exist without our tax money. And it's not just healthcare. It's pharma, oil and gas, higher education. Taxpayers subsidize these industries who then take their profits and we still pay so-called free market rates for their product. It's a classic double dip.
$1 million an hour.
Man, we boxed in, y'all. We boxed in. They taking our money, they giving it to these companies that we still have to pay deductibles and everything for their services like healthcare and all that type of stuff. So it's like they double dipping us, they taxing us, then we gotta pay again. Man, it's crazy, yeah.
Interest from the American people. $36 million an hour in interest from the American people. My children, my two children, were born $86,000 in debt based on the national debt. Now, why am I going to take away from those children to give to somebody that is going to be born in 2030? That's not going to happen. So that was my decision. It was very easy. You know, you think about stuff like fear. Oh, the IRS is going to get you. They're going to take your stuff. That's not important to me. Stuff's not important to me. My children are important to me. I'm one of those mothers that will roll up her sleeves with one leg and try to whoop you if you mess with my children.
Right.
And I think that a lot of mothers are like that. So this is what my decision was. And I went on and started educating people. One of the things that people asked me once I made this decision and started talking about it, how are we going to run the country without the income tax? I don't know how much Dan got into it, but the Grace Commission report that Ronald Reagan put out in 1984, says that none of the money collected in income tax goes towards running the country. But the bottom line is it's not going towards running the country. So you patriotic people out there, you've been fooled. Beardsley Rummer, he was Federal Reserve Chairman back in 1946, did a speech before the American Bar Association. The title of his speech was Taxes for Revenue Are Obsolete. Within the body of this report, he says that the taxes, the income taxes for redistribution of wealth. What is redistribution of wealth? What is that? That's taking from me that I've worked hard for and giving it from somebody else to somebody else.
Man.
Shouldn't I have the right to redistribute my wealth if I want to? Another question that they ask me is, how come I haven't heard this on TV, on the radio,
Right.
on the newspaper?
They not gonna tell everybody.
The simple answer to that is the same people who own the television stations and the newspapers and the radio stations are the same people who are involved with the Federal Reserve. And here is a little statement that says that it only requires 5% ownership to significantly influence the media. Rockefeller is one of the original shareholders of the Federal Reserve. As early as 1963, the House Banking Subcommittee reported that Rockefeller, through Chase Manhattan Bank, controlled 5.9% of the stock in CBS and the bank and gained interlocking directorates with ABC.
Man, y'all.
I went all the way through high school, all the way through college, all the way through testing for the CPA, and all this Irish training and didn't hear about any of this. You think they want this information out here for you guys to eat up and chew up and find out what's really going on? I don't think so. Now, another one. Why don't we just tell our elected officials about this? And to make a really long story short, the We the People Foundation, the same people that put out this ad, put together a hearing. And these 40 researchers, we're going to ask the IRS and the DOJ these questions, and we're going to have this big meeting in Washington called the Truth and Taxation Hearings, okay? So we got together with 537 questions. So we sent them the 537 questions so they could research and have the answers, and what did they do? They reneged on coming. They signed off on it, but they reneged on coming. So you all didn't get to hear the truth. We went on and had the hearings anyway, put it on CD, marched around Washington, giving it to all 535 congressmen and senators. Please look at this information. We got stupid responses back like, thank you for visiting our offices in Washington. The next time you come to Washington, please visit us again. They don't care. Your presidents don't care. Another one that they ask me, or they'll say something like, well, this just sounds like it's some kind of conspiracy theory. Y'all hear that a lot? Okay. Well, tell me this. What's the difference between a conspiracy and a strategy? Don't you understand that this is all by design?
Yes. She just killed them with that. Man. Already this is just mind blowing, you know what I'm saying? I got a question for my people that's overseas too. Are y'all getting taxed overseas in y'all countries and everything? Do y'all have to pay income taxes? Like, do this apply to other countries? Are they practicing this same stuff, or it is just over here in the United States, y'all? I need to know that for sure. Second of all, man, like, what about the people who working that they automatically just deduct it out of their checks and everything? Like, how do they get around it? Just file exempt? Just like, no, I ain't paying taxes. I'm filing exempt and just do it. I'm sure they'd probably send them something in the mail like, hey, you filing exempt, you ain't paying your taxes or something. But it's a way around it. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump ain't been paying no damn taxes either. And he don't never get in trouble. So it's definitely loopholes, and they just don't tell us. But let's keep it going. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Everybody make sure y'all hit that like button for me.
All this black, white stuff. You're white, I'm black. You know, you're Democrat, I'm a Republican. You know, y'all heard of divide and conquer before, right? Why y'all letting them do it to us? While I'm sitting up here arguing with this man about what his great-great-great-granddaddy did to mine, there's this big old fence closing in around us. And while I'm sitting here wasting time and he's sitting here telling me why he doesn't know, we need to put our heads together and figure out how to get out of this fence that these people are building around us. Am I right? Yeah. That's what we got to be. Divide and conquer, we can't let that work anymore. It's been working all these years. Then we need to get together and understand. First of all, you need to understand what is going on with your money. You work hard. It's like we're a hamster on a wheel. This country started out with taxation without representation. Where are we now? Why did we get back to where we started? We got lazy and comfortable. Get out your comfort zone. I never tell people to file a tax return. I never tell them not to file. I never tell people to pay taxes, and I never tell them not to pay. What I tell people is to do your own research, do your due diligence, and decide whether or not you're going to be a slave or get off the plantation. That's your choice.
Right.
So in essence, you're wasting time. As long as you continue to feed the monster's going to grow. They're going to they're going to laugh in your faces. Any kind of cause that you have, anything that you're trying to do in your life concerning getting things back on track with our country, the way it's supposed to be, you're going to get laughed at because you continue to give them the money to do whatever it is they're doing to us. A lot of people don't care. A lot of people get the money taken out of their checks and they actually think they're getting, oh, I get back $3,000 every year. They don't take anything from me. I said, sweetie, look at your W-2. They took $14,000. They're giving you back $3,000 of your own money. Oh.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's exactly what they be doing.
But the point is, if each of us understands where we are, who we are, and tries to do something about it, then we're going to get somewhere. This is a great country, but it's off track. And who's going to get it back on track? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
There is no law.
Yeah. This tax situation definitely is irritating me right here. Because I just feel like, man, they've been beating us our whole life and everything. And, you know, I mean, I got to do some more research to make sure, you know what I'm saying? But from these videos and everything, I believe this is something, this is a real thing. Like, I believe that it's a scam, you know what I'm saying? I believe it's voluntary and we just don't know it. We just sheep and we just programmed and conditioned to do this because everybody else been doing it. Because I don't understand, like, property taxes. At the end of every year, we got to pay property taxes. Every time we renew our registration on cars, we got to pay taxes on it. Pay taxes on the car and everything. Like, I'm like, man, they just taxing us to death. They're taking taxes out of people's checks. Then, like you said, when the income tax time come around, they be like, yeah, they act like they giving you your money back, but there's only a portion of how much, like, only like a little percentage of what they done took. Man, we getting beat, y'all. We got like, I don't even know what to do. We need to, like, damn. Like, we need to be, I don't even know what to do. One thing we can be doing, we need to be cussing the presidents and letting them, somebody out just like, man, y'all need to fix this shit. Like, the IRS is on some bullshit. I never understood the IRS. That shit just something they made up to just make shit worse, y'all. Let's keep it going.
And to date, nobody has been able to show that there is a law for the average American citizen working day in and day out to pay an income tax.
But We the People Foundation for Constitutional Education put a full-page ad in the USA Today on July 7th, 2000. And within the body of that ad was a $50,000 challenge for anyone that could show the law. And to me, $50,000 is a lot of money. So I went after that and did the research based on the fact that I thought, let's put this baby to bed. I'm hearing all these rumors. You know, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'll answer these people's questions that are asking me, and then I'll win this $50,000. And, you know, based on the research that I did throughout the year 2000 and that I'm still doing, I have not found that law. I've asked Congress, we've asked a lot of people in the IRS commissioners, helpers. They can't answer, because if they answer, the American people are going to know that this whole thing is a fraud.
There is no law. There is no law that requires the average American worker in the private sector to pay a direct, unapportioned tax on their labor and compensation for services. There is no law.
We need to be spreading this live. Y'all need to be sharing this. There's a lot of people that need to be seeing this, man. We need to bring awareness to this. And I know they're going to be mad as hell with me doing this stream, but I had to. After I did the last stream and talking about the money and how they print the money and everything, and then I came across this. I'm like, man, I'm finna do a stream on this. And I feel like this is very informative for everybody and everything. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm late as hell, you know, I'm old as hell now. I should have been learning about this shit a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people out there that know about this that's not paying taxes and living good right now. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. So it ain't no law. Man.
We expected that, of course, there's a law that you can point to in the law book, the code that requires you to file a tax return. Of course there is. Maybe I don't know what it is right then as he was speaking to me, but sure. So naively, I agreed to go off and research it and get back to him.
Appreciate that super chat.
3.5 months later, I was at that point where I couldn't find the statute that clearly made a person liable, at least not me and most people I know. And I had no choice in my mind except to resign.
I had to leave the IRS because I presented evidence that I had accumulated indicating that the agency was violating the law and violating people's rights. And I asked the agency for a response to my sincere concerns. And the answer I got was that they would not respond to my concerns and that they would provide me with the paperwork necessary to tender my resignation.
Hey, y'all, it's no law, and the IRS can't prove that it is a law. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I gotta make some calls. I gotta tell some of my people. I know they ain't gonna believe it, especially my mama. She gonna be like, yeah, no, you gotta pay taxes. They gonna come put you in jail. They gonna take all your stuff or something. Like, she ain't going for this shit. She part of the sheep. She gonna be like, no, I'm paying mine. But fuck them. I mean, most of my life, I ain't paying no taxes anything anyway. So, you know, most of my life was hand-to-hand cash anyway. So, shit, it's all good. But I just find this crazy, y'all. I find this seriously, like, mind-blowing. Why we haven't been up on this? Have any of y'all knew about this in the chat? Some of y'all was keeping this to yourself and wasn't telling nobody. Y'all ain't paying no taxes. Y'all know it ain't no law out here and shit. Come on, man. We gotta spread this, dog. We're supposed to have 1 million people looking at this. This supposed to change the game right here.
You can look through the statutes and look for the law that requires you to pay. And when you do that, you can't identify a law that requires the average person in America who earns a wage and works in private business to pay an income tax.
American citizens, along with the foundation, have been asking the IRS to specifically provide them with the underlying legal foundation upon which they administer and enforce the personal income tax laws in our country.
At the national level, when people would attempt to contact somebody of a much higher authority, say the commissioner, same kind of thing. They would get answers that were in effect non-answers.
You have to understand that an agency which will unlawfully impose a tax that doesn't exist is not going to care. If we, the people, don't know what our rights are, they're not going to tell us.
If Americans just learned that the IRS was actually knowingly deceiving them, that would be enough for them to rise up and put a stop to it.
100%.
Man, did y'all just hear what he just said, man? The IRS is deceiving us, y'all. And we just gonna keep on ignoring this shit. We just gonna keep on ignoring it, man. Oh my God, we got to get this out there, man. This is crazy, man. And see, I wasn't even tripping about, little taxes and everything like that. Like I understand little taxes on products and everything, especially if the tax is being used for the right things. They always acting like taxes. Yeah, we getting a tax and we using your tax money, your tax dollars for this and that, such and such, whatever. But they be lying, man. They be lying like, man, this shit crazy, y'all.
Percent of what is collected is absorbed solely by interest on the federal debt. All individual income tax revenues are gone before 1 nickel is spent on the services taxpayers expect from government. People have been told, that you need this income tax system to fund government, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, my question is, well, if that's true, how did we fund government from 1776 to 1913?
The main purpose of the income tax is not to raise revenue, but to redistribute wealth and to control society.
And a lot of people might say, well, gee, if there wasn't an income tax, what would happen to education? They don't understand that education is paid for the most part, out of state and local taxes. You're probably
Hold on. They saying education is paid for out of state and local property taxes. Second of all I kept hearing, especially in Michigan, like all the education was paid for out of the lottery. Like they said taxes from lottery or something all go back into education. And it'd be a whole bunch of money, but it just seemed like it's not being pushed back into education. It's being funneled into some pockets or something. So I don't know, man. It's all entertainment purposes only and everything. I know they're gonna be mad about this stream, but we gotta do this, man, because we can't keep no shit like this a secret, man. And it ain't even no law. And they taxing us, man. Like, can't nobody bring up a law that's saying we required to pay an income tax. They can't. It's not even out here. So what we doing, y'all? What we doing? This shit, man.
property tax. People might say, well, how are we going to build and maintain our highways if there's no money coming into the government? We need our highways. There is a tax on every gallon of gasoline that people buy. Proceeds from the income tax do not pay for highway construction.
I believe that in both spirit and substance, our tax system has come to be un-American. Death and taxes may be inevitable,
even
but unjust taxes are not.
This small booklet includes the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. This is a document that every citizen should read. It's a document which freed an entire nation. This is the Internal Revenue Code, and this document, and the unlawful application of this document by the Internal Revenue Service has enslaved the nation that this document attempted to free.
Right. Oh man, that's us, man. That's us, man. They been tricking us. Oh, they been tricking us, man. Like, who is the fucking IRS anyway? Like, what? Oh man, they've been tricking everybody. They've been tricking everybody. And then, you know, when a long time ago when they freed the slaves and everything, they lied about that too. Like they talking about they freed the slaves and did all this shit. They freed them because they don't tell everybody about this part. But they had started like rebelling against everybody, and they had formed a group where they was going like to the plantations, and they was, you know, they was doing their thing. They was knocking some motherfuckers down, and some of the plantation owners made that call like, hey, y'all need to do something. Y'all need to free these motherfuckers to do something because I ain't got no slaves and I don't want them to come to my plantation and come do nothing to me. And that's what was going on. That's why they freed them and did that. I forgot the proclamation. Massive. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, but this shit crazy right here, y'all. Let's keep it going. Everybody, please make sure you hit that like button. We got to get this out. People got to see this. I'm sure ain't nobody, some people just gonna look at him like, oh yeah, whatever, but this shit real. Let's keep it going.
Own internal manuals called the Internal Revenue Manual, or IRM as the acronym. Inside that manual, it would actually say that the IRS Criminal Investigation Division that I worked in, or the Examination Division, which is where the auditors are, or the Collection Division, where the guys that steal or take money out of your bank account and put liens on your houses and those things. If you look at the Internal Revenue Manual, you'll see that it actually lays out that the jurisdiction, the reach, the ability of these IRS agents is limited to Americans who are living and working abroad, outside the country, not inside the country where you.
So it's supposed to be for citizens that's outside the country. They supposed to be getting taxed and everything, but the citizens that's living within the country and everything, we shouldn't be paying no taxes or nothing. That's what he just said. And this is a former IRS agent right here. Man, this shit crazy, I'm laughing, but I'm mad. I ain't even go front, man. And it's 100 people in here. We only got 28 likes. Y'all won't even like it to get it out to the masses or nothing, man. Y'all just coming in here watching. Some of y'all probably agents your damn self. Like, this is why shit don't travel and the awareness don't get to everybody, because everybody on bullshit. Like, we got 100 motherfuckers in here, and all it takes is 1 second to hit the like button, and they won't even do that. So I see why a lot of these sheeps and some of y'all in this motherfucker still paying taxes and still gonna be paying taxes tomorrow and the next month and everything after we do this stream. But it's all good. Fuck you.
You'd expect, because that's where we see them. They're on TV. They're out there doing their audits and investigations. And I thought, well, that couldn't possibly be true. So I went upstairs to the law library and flipped through the official Internal Revenue Manual that the IRS, keeps for their own lawyers and accountants. And there it was. In fact, I've got that on my website on the landing page, agentfortruth.com. These copies of the Internal Revenue Manual that I looked at and thought, wow, well, this isn't a lie. This is exactly as these people that the IRS called illegal tax protesters are saying, that the IRS's own admission in their own Bible, their own manual, says that their reach, their jurisdiction is limited to Americans living and working abroad.
And so the crux of her argument is that Americans that are not living abroad and are just living in the United States don't have to pay a federal income tax. Is that the heart of her claim?
Correct.
Well, it's a pretty deep topic, I'm sure. Like, we could really go into the weeds, and I know you don't have time.
See, he don't really want to say it, y'all. Y'all know it's still a sticky game. He don't really want to just come on and be like, yeah, because, they might go knock his damn head off too. But
time to do that. But basically, it centers on an absence of a liability statute. And what I mean by that is, if anyone can bear to go into the Internal Revenue Code, and I actually can show you why it'd be hard to bear.
Wow.
To go in. This is from 2012. But anyway, now with the internet, of course, you don't have to go and flip through pages. You can go and do word searches. But the IRS in the 1040 booklet, they display what's called the Privacy Act and Paperwork Reduction Act notice. And that's basically the notice to the public about what laws that are there that require you to do these things, for the IRS, give them tax returns. And the IRS's own admission in those statements, which are required by law, because you as an American are supposed to know what laws require you to do what things.
right. That's why we got to do our own research, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Leah Spencer. Appreciate that. Hey, but listen, y'all. Listen. This shit is making me mad. Super mad, y'all. And I just want to say this. Like, I ain't telling everybody just, hey, y'all, go stop paying your taxes. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Do your own research. Because I'm going to say this. Even though they saying all this stuff about it ain't no law for the taxes and everything, I done seen some people have some problems with the IRS. Now, they do got the means to do stuff to you, like if they want to, like they feel like you making a lot of paper and everything, they'll do some shit. They'll put some shit on your house, your cars, and fuck around, come get it. Like I done seen people go to jail, prison for it. Like, so they got some power, but we got power too. If we come to, like, it's gonna take a collective of all of us to make it happen. But you know what I'm saying? Just, hey, grind at your own risk. You know what I'm saying? Push at your own risk. You feel what I'm saying? Because until we all together, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a tough task. But let's keep it going. My bad, y'all.
So the IRS spells out, and again, this is on my website, that you must give us a return or statement for any tax you are liable for, any tax you are required to pay. And the courts have ruled that, well, you have to be able to be the person responsible for paying a particular tax. So in the law, there's a person or a party that's required to pay a liquor tax, a tobacco tax, the papers that go around a cigarette, there's a tax on that.
No, I understand that. That's what I was just saying. Like, I understand the tax on the products and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I just said I agree with that. I understand like a little couple taxes on shit like that and everything. But what I'm saying is they taking this tax money and they not using it or putting it towards what they say they are. Like, they saying they helping education. They saying they doing this, or they saying they, oh yeah, we paying for the roads and all this type of shit. I don't know, man. I don't know, y'all.
There are all kinds of excise taxes that are and income tax that are required to be paid, but there's a person who's made liable, who's designated as the responsible party to pay it. And so it's not, I mean, people might think it's an oversight, but how could it be an oversight that the average American living and working in the United States is not made liable to pay the federal income tax?
I believe that in both spirit and substance, our tax system has come to be un-American.
This small booklet
That's Ronald
includes the
Reagan.
Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration
Ronald
of
Reagan said
Independence.
that.
It's a document which freed an entire nation. This is the Internal Revenue Code.
Of course there's a law that you can point to in the law book, the code, that requires you to file a tax return. Of course there is.
There is no law. There is no law that requires the average American worker in the private sector to pay a direct, unapportioned tax on their labor and compensation for services. There is no law.
A lot of people might say, well, gee, if there wasn't an income tax, what would happen to education? They don't understand that education is paid for the most part, out of state and local taxes, your property tax.
Let's put this baby to bed. I'm hearing all these rumors. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'll answer these people's questions that are asking me, and then I'll win this $50,000.
If Americans just learned that the IRS was actually knowingly deceiving them, that would be enough for them to rise up and put a stop to it.
You can look through the statutes and look for the law that requires you to pay. And when you do that, you can't identify a law that requires the average person in America who earns a wage and works in private business to pay an income tax.
So naively, I agreed to go off and research it and get back to him. 3.5 months later, I was at that point where I couldn't find the statute that clearly made a person liable, at least not me and most people I know.
The main purpose of the income tax is not to raise revenue, but to redistribute wealth and to control society.
Nobody has been able to show that there is a law for the average American citizen working day in and day out to pay an income tax.
But We the People Foundation for Constitutional Education put a full-page ad in the USA Today, and within the body of that ad was a $50,000 challenge for anyone that could show the law.
And I had no choice in my mind except to resign.
You have to understand that an agency which will unlawfully impose a tax that doesn't exist is not going to care. If we the people don't know what our rights are.
I have not found that law. I've asked Congress, we've asked a lot of people in the IRS commissioners, helpers. They can't answer, because if they answer, the American people are going to know that this whole thing is a fraud.
People might say, well, how are we going to build and maintain our highways if there's no money coming into the government? We need our highways. There is a tax on every gallon of gasoline that people buy. Proceeds from the income tax do not pay for highway construction.
I had to leave the IRS because I presented evidence that I had accumulated indicating that the agency was violating the law and violating people's rights. American citizens, along with the foundation, have been asking the IRS to specifically provide them with the underlying legal foundation upon which They administer and enforce the personal income tax laws in our country.
People have been told, that you need this income tax system to fund government, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, my question is, well, if that's true, how did we fund government from 1776 to 1913?
I really expected that, of course, there's a law that you can point to in the law book, the code, that requires you to file a tax return. Of course there is. Maybe I don't know what it is right then as he was speaking to me, but sure.
I think the president actually said it better.
Man. It's a cold world we living in, y'all. This is a tricky situation right here. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, if I don't pay no taxes or do none of that, I feel like they gonna come get me. Shit, they gonna come get me, man. They be like, oh no, you can't do it. But man, I'm laughing because I'm mad, man. I just feel like we've been played, y'all. We've been bamboozled for so long with everything. I'm gonna add this to the list of the rigs that they got. They done rigged everything. Space, slavery, motherfucking just our life, food. They lied about everything. And the taxes, y'all. Shit crazy. Let's keep it going.
He said that the handling of those tax-exempt applications in that process at the IRS was outrageous and intolerable. No excuse. And as much as we know that the folks at IRS have a thankless job because they have to go and tell their fellow Americans that they may be audited or they have to do this work understaffed, we have to maintain the confidence in the system because it's a voluntary system of payment of our taxes.
Agreed.
Because it's a voluntary system of payment of our taxes.
Agreed.
And so you are right. It was a foolish mistake, but the president's even more correct that it was outrageous and intolerable. Now, let me also focus on something, Mr. George, you said. When you were asked, was there any finding or evidence of political motivation here? You said no.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And so what we find is a situation where inexcusable activity took place because it erodes the confidence of the American people in a system where they participate voluntarily. And if there's a place in public service where you have to have the highest level of conduct and standards, it's at the IRS. And so, Mr. Miller, I think it's unfortunate for those who are in positions of authority, but the buck has to stop somewhere. And I think that's exactly what we're saying. That should not diminish the good work that has been done by anyone within the IRS over the years. And so I hope you understand that you are here today talking to us because we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to clean up and clear out.
Right.
So we can go back to the business of making sure that people respect the fact that we have a voluntary system of paying our taxes.
Man, he just said it. Listen, where's the other people? Like, why haven't, out of all these years, you mean tell me ain't none of these old fake ass politicians? I know y'all. I know it's all fake. They not elected. They are selected. I know it's all fake, but you mean tell me out of all these years in politics and everything, I'm sure some people knew about this. Nobody never stood up for us and said nothing about this shit. Like, yeah, man, we need to go against it. We don't need, man, that tax shit is all fraud. We need to go against this and spread the word to the masses. Oh my God, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. America make you want to look like, man, I'm tired of this motherfucker. I wish the aliens will come back or whatever they go do. Come on, man. Come on, come tear this bitch up and do something, man. Because we need a reset. Switch this shit all around, get it back fair. So the people that's coming behind us or something, they'll have a fair chance or something, man. Like, switch this shit up, man. Come on back. The aliens, can y'all hear me? The extraterrestrials, the ones that said, yeah, we trying to save y'all planet from all the destruction. Can y'all hear me? Come back. I'm talking to y'all. Come. We need y'all. It's a lot of bullshit going on, man. Let's keep it going.
Used to be the IRS commissioner. He wrote the tax code, and he was also general counsel to the IRS. He is a true expert, and I couldn't find a better person to answer my questions. He graciously agreed to my interview. The reason I'm doing this documentary
Eat
is there are
everybody.
many people in America today who believe that there's no law that requires them to pay an income tax or file a 1040. And there are many people going to jail for it, fighting over it.
The Internal Revenue Code is authorized by the 16th Amendment.
I think it should be clarified. I think government should be transparent to the people. Why doesn't the IRS commissioner sit down with them and just explain it in clear English? Why?
I don't think they really care. They don't think. I think they're just playing word games.
You don't think they're sincere people?
No, I don't think they're sincere people.
What does voluntary compliance mean?
And why does the IRS code say it's voluntary to comply, not mandatory?
That's a word euphemism we use. We use voluntary compliance when we talk about traffic signals.
It's voluntary, but if we go against it and they try to put lien on all of our shit, and we be like, man, fuck it, we finna sue them. Ain't no law out here. They can't prove it. Most Americans, they don't have the money to even, they don't have the funds to even go to court against them and do all that stuff. So they just like, oh, fuck it, or whatever. Like, it's just, man, it's a big play, y'all. This shit ain't nothing but a big play. I'm mad. I'm finna just let it play, y'all. I'm mad.
People, at 2 o'clock in the morning, do you stop at a red light?
Yeah.
Is there a cop there?
Sometimes I don't.
Well, I do, and most of us do. Most of us do.
Right.
But that's voluntary compliance.
That was a complete perversion of logic. Traffic laws state that it is mandatory to stop at a red light. The IRS code says it's voluntary to comply. Mandatory and voluntary are the complete opposite of each other. Yet he wants us to believe that they mean the same thing.
Man, this shit crazy, man.
So can the government criminally prosecute somebody of information put on their 1040?
Yes.
Right, so doesn't that violate the Fifth Amendment?
No.
But the Fifth Amendment says I don't have to do anything that incriminates myself.
Well, it doesn't incriminate you to put your income down.
But you said before I could be put in jail for it. The commissioner wants us to believe that although the IRS demands that you fill out the 1040 and you can go to jail for it, that they are not violating your Fifth Amendment rights of self-incrimination. That is absurd. Isn't it true that the word income is not defined anywhere in the Internal Revenue Code?
The law says that the government has a right to tax income from any source derived.
So, but the word income is not defined in the code. It just says income without a definition of what income is.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah.
There are many different kinds of taxes. Well, how can an American citizen know what income is if the code doesn't define it? If they're paying an income
Because the
tax,
courts have all defined it.
do you remember?
He on they ass. No Diddy. My man can't even explain it, man. This shit, man. I'm mad, man.
What constitutional attorney Edwin Vieira said?
The definition of income in the Constitution was given in the Eisner versus Macomber case.
Appreciate it,
turns
Denny.
on gains
Appreciate it,
or profits that are made from some activity.
So the Supreme Court has ruled income is not wages, it's not labor, it's gain from corporate activity.
They murdered him. Jennifer, they unalive fam right here that's talking to him and busting him down in the meeting right here. I hope not, man. Oh my God, this shit, man.
I believe that a man's labor is his private property.
That's your view, but it's not the law.
The Supreme Court's even said your labor is your private property. When I go to work for somebody, it's a trade. It's an even exchange. I do some work, you give me some money.
Oh my God. And they took dog out. Cold world we living in. See what I'm saying? We can't even say
In
shit.
1916, we had the Bruchaber case and the Stanton case. And the Bruchaber case and the Stanton case said that the 16th Amendment gave the government no new taxing power.
I'm not going to argue the niceties of that with you.
And it came up again in a case called Peck versus Lowe, where the Supreme Court said the 16th Amendment did not extend Congress's taxing power to any new or accepted subjects. In other words, if you weren't taxable before the 16th, you weren't taxable after the 16th.
Today I interviewed a juror, okay, who sat on a case, and they found the person not guilty for lack of filing, okay? And I asked her why they found him not guilty. And she said because the IRS couldn't show us the law that made him liable to file a 1040.
All they need to do, if there is a law, is to show us the law, which of course they never did.
And the reason they didn't do it was why?
Because there is no law.
Title 26 requires you to file a return.
But doesn't Title 26 have to be in compliance with the Supreme Court decisions?
You're going to take a 1920 case and superimpose it on the whole Internal Revenue Code that was written after it? No, that's not.
I can't believe what I just heard. Rewind.
Listen. You're going to take a 1920 case and superimpose it on the whole Internal Revenue Code that was written after it? No, that's not.
Remember he said earlier the Internal Revenue Code was authorized by the 16th Amendment?
The Internal Revenue Code is authorized by the 16th Amendment.
Oh my God. Then the motherfuckers who talking about it, they don't even know what they like. They don't even know. They know it's all. I bet he ain't paying no damn taxes. And then they unalive fam that's in there trying to debunk them and interviewing them and everything. So rest up to him for even trying to, you know what I'm saying, go do what he did. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot of heart. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with this stream. Hopefully a lot of people see this. This shit crazy, man. Like, I don't even give a fuck no more. I seen somebody say, yeah, they need to go ahead, nuke this motherfucker. Go ahead. I'm so tired of this motherfucking whole world, man. This shit, man.
Remember, the Supreme Court said the 16th Amendment did not give the government any new taxing power. These decisions have never been overturned. Let's listen further. Can the lower courts overrule the Supreme Court?
No.
How are they putting people in jail today for not paying a tax on their labor when the Supreme Court said they don't have to? Doesn't the IRS code have to be in compliance with the Supreme Court? That's my big question.
This is a waste of time.
He saw you.
Because whatever I say, you're not going to believe.
He's right. I don't believe him. And neither should you.
Right, because you lying, motherfucker. And then dog in there that's trying to interview you and busting you down and debunking everything y'all doing and everything. Y'all unalived him. Allegedly, you know what I'm saying? Entertainment purposes only. Let me calm down. I'm still hot. I'm on YouTube parole. But look, man, fuck it, man.
He wants us to believe we should obey the IRS code, which is being enforced in violation of the many Supreme Court decisions. If the Supreme Court made a decision...
Thank you, Aaron. I think we're finished.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cohen, you're doing that.
Well, I'm sorry that you constantly re-argue the point. You're liable because the law says that you're liable, and the courts say the law says you're liable, and that's why you're liable.
You see, he's talking about the lower courts, who are not in compliance with the Supreme Court, as they have to be. Doesn't the court have to be in compliance with the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court has so held.
Where?
You caught me unprepared.
I'll come back.
Well, I don't want to do that.
But let me ask you a hypothetical question.
Caught him unprepared.
You're making silly arguments here.
Why is the Supreme Court decision a silly argument?
Well, because it's inapplicable.
That made my heart stop. He just said Supreme Court decisions do not apply to the IRS. That's the behavior you would expect from a totalitarian country, maybe China or Russia or Cuba. Not from America. They're just making up the law as they go along. Now I knew the tax honesty movement was right. The IRS thrives on intimidation and fear.
Right.
Not by law. It's no different than a criminal protection racket, using force to extract your money from you.
Man, I want to call the IRS tomorrow and cuss somebody out. I just want to call the number and be like, man, y'all on some bullshit, man. Where's the laws and everything at? I should call them motherfuckers tomorrow and stream it and talk to somebody on there. I just like, Man, what?
Then the former IRS commissioner, now working at a prestigious Washington law firm, threatens me. Watch.
Aaron, you understand Yiddish. Cornish helfen.
For those of you who don't understand Yiddish, that means nothing will help you.
Man, the IRS ain't nothing but a gang too, man. That's a gang too. Just like they say, just like the Crips and the Bloods, the IRS a gang too. And they extorting everybody. We being extorted, y'all. We all being extorted unconsciously, unknowingly. Well, we know now, you know what I'm saying? Since I did this and shit, we know now, but we being extorted. I'm mad. I really want to call them motherfuckers tomorrow. Like, I'm sure it'd be hard getting through, but I just want to cut somebody out. Like, man, I'm sure that don't nobody on the phones that's answering the phones know nothing either. Like, I don't know. I'm like, man, they can't give you no codes, can't give you no site to go to show the law, nothing. Man, this shit, man. Man, I'm mad, y'all. Salute to everybody who tapped in. Everybody, please make sure you hit that like button. Just got to get out to the masses. You know what I'm saying? There's so many rabbit holes, man. I done went down so many. I'm just mad, y'all. Like, we've been deceived our whole life, man. This shit crazy, y'all. But appreciate everybody who tapped in, y'all. Hit that like button, y'all. Stay on wave. Try to stay positive, y'all. Stay vibrating those high frequencies and everything, y'all. And take some of this information and use it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Be wise, because the IRS ain't no joke. They tough too. You know what I'm saying? They try to act tough, but man, peace and love to everybody. I'll see y'all soon, man. It's your boy Thou, FamOverTV. If y'all got some content y'all want me to check out, anything, join the Discord. I'll see y'all in a minute, man. Salute to everybody, my moderators, content management, and everything. I appreciate all y'all. Peace.
Fam over.